Dame Kiri Te Kanawa is one of the world's best-loved singers. Throughout her extraordinary career, she has left a unique and lasting impression on everyone she has met.
She was very direct, she was very warm, she was very outward-going, she was very focused. And I thought that was a fantastic way to begin.
But in addition to her legendary soprano voice, Kiri possesses a genuine passion for life.
I think it's her philosophy that, you know, if you don't have a good time, you have nobody to blame but yourself. She makes things fun.
I think I've been amazingly fortunate. 2-ton trucks and 50-ton trucks and things can come and roll me down, but it won't kill my spirit.
Kiri Te Kanawa has been at the top of her profession for over 3 decades. During that time, her fame has spread throughout the world and far beyond the operatic stage. To fans, friends and colleagues alike, she is one of the most outstanding performers of her generation.
Vocally, she's just as good as you can get. When she sings the repertoire that she likes to sing, Mozart and Strauss, I just don't know anybody as good. She makes the most bewitching noise, you know, and of course this shouldn't have anything to do with singing, but on the opera stage it doesn't hurt that she looks so beautiful.
She's technically quite extraordinarily adept. She really does understand how her voice works. And you get the impression with some singers that they're struggling with their voice, and so they're melding a technique onto it. I've always thought that she was really very self-aware of what her voice could do, and there are certain things that she does that no one else can do, you know.
But apart from her beautiful voice, there's a side to Kiri which remains largely unknown. Music is her passion, but Kiri has always insisted on having a life away from performing.
I love the open outdoors. You know, the sound of silence is something that's very precious in my life, because I have so much music and volume of sound around me that to actually get into a silent place is quite unique. I've always found a way to run to the freedom of the sky and the wind, and you know, so I just hope I'm still not one of these wild children. I've got a profession, what I really love, but there's the other side of me too. I think I need all of this in order to go and do what I do, because I am passionate about what I do, but I'm also passionate about having the time away from it too.
Born in New Zealand in 1944, Kiri had a difficult start in life. The daughter of a Maori father and a white mother, she was given up for adoption at birth.
I think I've been amazingly fortunate. From the day that I was sort of ferried around to every person saying, would you please adopt this child, would you be, and it took them 5 months to finally place me, to having the most fabulous mum and dad. I look back and I think they gave me this life. They sacrificed and gave, as a lot of parents do. And sometimes I think I got too much out of it for the little they got.
Kiri's adoptive parents, Nell and Tom Te Kanawa, provided her with a loving and stable home. Although they weren't wealthy, they worked hard to give her every opportunity she could want.
My father just adored me. I had a wonderful relationship with my father. And my mother, I did have a difficult relationship, but that I think was quite normal. And it's given me the character that I've got now, which is very strong.
When Kiri was 12, the family moved to Auckland, where she was sent to St Mary's College. It was here that her promising voice was discovered by renowned singing teacher, Sister Mary Leo.
I've been a dreadful student all my life. I don't know why, I'm just not a great study person. Sister Mary Leo, she was a bit of a tyrant, and of course if she called me out of class, they had to let me go. And of course my studies suffered there. So from my education point of view, I didn't really have education.
Under the guidance of Sister Mary, Kiri went on to dominate singing competitions in New Zealand and Australia, and eventually became a national recording celebrity. At the age of 21, she was given a heroine send-off when she left to study at the prestigious London Opera Centre. It was the middle of the 1960s, and London was swinging.
It was Carnaby Street and all that, Beatles and, unbelievable things going on. It was a real, revelation to someone like me who came from Little Auckland. I didn't actually go mad, though, because once again I was still in that driven force of the music. I might have gone off the rails a little bit, but it was never really terribly dangerous. Within a very short time, I was singing and being discovered, and within 5 years I was at Covent Garden, so I must have done all the right things.
Kiri's Covent Garden debut was in 1971, and the opera world was immediately won over by the young soprano. Virtually overnight, she became a star.
There were a few wonderful roles that I did that I made my own for a short time, and that was very pleasing to say, well, that was, you really was the best at that time. I thought, looking back, it's a nice feeling.
Even in those early days, Kiri's life away from the stage had a positive effect on her performances.
A breadth of understanding about life is essential, really, to be able to be honest on stage, rather than just painting on a character and redoing that character time and time again. It's essential, really, to keep alive and refreshed. The music business can be terribly, terribly blinkered, but she's never been blinkered.
In July 1981, Kiri's career took an extraordinary turn when Prince Charles asked her to sing at his wedding ceremony. 600 million people worldwide tuned in to watch the event.
I felt it was a mistake, but never mind. I thought, well, it's like everything. They make mistakes all over the place, so I said yes. And once I said yes, they couldn't take it back, I suppose. The whole ceremony was just amazing, and our future king being married, and I was involved in it, was just, I thought it was just a bit spacey, really. The pressure was on. I suppose that was the most pressure I've ever been under.
Kiri was already an international star within the opera world, but the royal wedding would make her a household name.
Prince Charles was instrumental in giving me a dame the next year. I remember he wrote to me and said, "Does it make any difference to your life?" I said, "Yes, it's made it difficult."
These days, one of Kiri's favourite pursuits is clay pigeon shooting, and she's an excellent shot.
I live such an indoor life in the business I'm in. The weather never mattered, because if it was a nice day you felt terrible. If it was a bad day it was fine, because it didn't matter. Our job was indoors. And of course, you know, being such a Piscean person as I am, I swim in opposite directions. So I am, you know, doing one thing and wanting to do the other, and that's what I'm doing all the time.
Kiri's hobbies may come as a surprise to those who think sopranos are somewhat delicate.
I think sopranos are much more robust than they like us to believe. They have to be. I mean, they've all got to be as fit as fleas, and they've all got to have stamina that defies most people's idea of, you know, an energetic workout. I think she needs to be out there. And in a way, I think it's a bit like windscreen wipers. It's washing the screen down so that she can see clearly again.
It's beautiful. No dead cameraman?
What you normally get is you get...
Well, that's where she leaves me, because when it comes to joining her in athletics, I told her very early on, forget it with the hiking boots and the guns. I'm not your man, sorry.
I'm going to go across to the right.
Obviously, that's where everyone shoots.
Steady.
That's better, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exciting. What's this one?
I think you need to be strong, but an awful lot of people do tend to have a rather sedentary type of life. They sleep till midday. They get up sometime, they eat, and then they go to bed late. I've never been like that. I think when I started, I was very unusual.
While England has been Kiri's base for over 40 years, she still regularly returns to New Zealand, where she has a house in the beautiful Bay of Islands.
I think it's just that there's a peace and tranquility, and someone told me just a while back that wise decisions are made on this property. So I'd like to hope that that is actually so, that I would make wise decisions, good or bad, but they have to be wise.
I am New Zealander, and that's it. My father was Maori. He was a very proud and dignified person. How could I just desert that? I can't. Not possible. I'm too proud to, because it's who I am.
This year, Kiri's stay in New Zealand will include a charity gala concert in aid of the Kiri Te Kanawa Foundation. She's enlisted the help of her longtime friend, American mezzo-soprano Frederica von Stade.
Just keep it low, keep it low, keep it low. No, it's not alright.
Kiri and Frederica first met in 1971 when they were performing together in a Mozart opera.
I mean, I heard this voice. I've never heard a voice like it before in my life, or really since. You know, it's just, there's something absolutely magic about her voice and her singing, and we always had a good time. You're not going to be sad for one split second around Kiri, you know, and she makes things fun for everybody, and she's always done that. I think it's her philosophy that, you know, if you don't have a good time, that you have nobody to blame but yourself. What's her latest saying was, well, it would be silly not to if you're invited to do something, and she's always had that. I do think that's her character and her determination and her natural ability to seize life, you know, to do what she really loves to do.
It's not bad before 9 a.m.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
Much of Kiri's time and energy is spent raising money for her foundation, which she set up to help young New Zealanders make a career in opera. Today, Kiri and Frederica have travelled to Auckland to hold a workshop for promising singers.
I have a girlfriend who's running the opera factory, and she brings out all these young students that are dying to be singers. And she said, it's all your fault, Kiri. You've done this. They've got this singer called Kiri Te Kanawa, and they all want to be like you. And I said, oh, don't be so silly. And she said, well, yes, that's it. They've got to have exceptional talent. What I'm looking for is exceptional. I'm not looking for any talent. It's exceptional. And that's what I think it will make them strive to be exceptional if they're going to make it.
Lovely.
You've first of all got to have a very good voice. Then you've got to have a very good psyche. You've got to be able to, withstand the rigours of 5, 6 people screaming at you, telling you to do 5, 6 different things at a time. So you've got to be quite mentally strong to cope with it. I mean, I think certain times that I just blacked out. I just turned the off button and just went into my own world. I think that's what I was good at.
Every time we sing the Keiwha Raw, it's always the same. Keiwha Raw, you could make it more or lighter, just lighten off. And when you go for your top notes, make sure you know where you're going.
I think it's invaluable because she's not unkind. That's what's easy about Kiri, and that's what's special, is an ability to see things as they are and say them, and not think about how to say them.
One thing I always remember many, many years ago, someone said to me, well, I'm not nervous. Why are you? So you've got to think about that. They are not, seriously not nervous. And if you say you're nervous, you think, oh, why are you nervous? So you have to know that while you're nervous, that's your problem. But we aren't. I think it's a psychological, talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
What else is there?
I want to do this job for just a little bit longer. It's seriously for the foundation that I'm doing this and trying to keep profile of the foundation and myself sort of still there on stage. But I'm still looking for the next famous opera singer or performer.
It's the day of the Gala Concert in Wellington. At the venue, final preparations are well underway. Kiri has been involved in the organisation for this concert for almost a year. The performance is completely sold out, and she's overseeing all of the last-minute details.
I'll be pleased when it's over because you've reached what you planned. But I'm sort of just worried until we get there. Just as long as the audience likes it, that's the most important thing.
Yes, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
All the other activities I do, it is not necessary to die, shooting the last clay or, catching the last fish or whatever it is. That's not, being an all-rounder, I enjoy, but I do it to the best of my ability, whereas the music I do to the very best of my ability.
think she's worked very hard. You know, underneath the sailing along the water is a lot of paddling and a lot of time, and you cannot do what she's done and sing what she's sung without an enormous amount of work. As big as the gift is, every one of those high notes is hundreds of singing lessons.
You know, she's very, very smart about what she can still sing with ease and with conviction and with persuasion. And she knows what to leave out. There's very little she has to leave out, but she knows where to back off now a little bit. I think that her future vocally is whatever she decides it's going to be.
I'm still singing, I think, quite well. And I'd like to continue for just a little bit longer, but I'm not sure how much longer. But the demands are my own demands. As long as I feel my quality is good enough to put it on stage and sing the arias and songs that I should be singing, while not singing things that are too silly for me, well then I think it is me who's in charge of that.
I think the key to her is the two sides that she commits herself to equally, but she manages to keep them separate, so they both appear to be intact, and both sides of her life seem to me to have a real integrity.
I see Kiri as a kind of a ray of sunshine and joy, and it's always fun to be around her. You sort of feel in the glow. I'm excited about life itself. It's good for me. I have a wonderful life. I'm looking forward to doing some very interesting projects next year, and so many more tuna to be caught.